everyone, welcome here and good to see you. This is Mr. Klassen and I want to welcome you to another instructional video inside Mr. Klassen's band room. Today we're going to be doing part 2 of Clarinet Pinky Keys. If you didn't see part 1, there will be a link in the description below. You should check that out first and then come back here. Today we are going to apply some of what we learned in part 1 of Clarinet Pinky Keys to a chromatic scale. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, here's the scale that I'll use to demonstrate today, along with the diagram from the part 1 video. You'll notice that there's one addition to the diagram from the part 1 version, and that is the alternate F sharp or G flat fingering, which we'll talk about a little bit later. I'm going to work on the bottom notes of the scale first, and then move to the top. You'll notice that the bottom notes, they're not just an octave lower than the top notes. You can see, for example, that the low E is paired with the high B, the low F with the high C, etc. And the reason for that is because those fingerings correspond. So in the part 1 video we talked about corresponding pinky keys, so the low E is the same fingering as the high B, except with the addition of the register key. The same kind of thing happens with all the other ones, and so that's why they're laid out in that manner. This is a diagram or a scale layout that was first shown to me by Mr. Schott, Mr. Dwayne Schott, and it's a very helpful one that I've kind of just adapted a little bit and continue to use, but really the brains behind the operation here is Mr. Schott. What we'll do is we'll assume that you kind of know the regular note fingerings, and we'll just kind of show you specifically the sharps and flats, or the accidental fingerings, including that alternate F sharp G flat fingering. You'll see these kind of brackets going across on top and bottom, and the brackets are simply there to remind you that the notes that are connected by the brackets are enharmonic equivalents. That means they have different names, but they're actually the same pitch. A sharp and B flat, G sharp and A flat, F sharp and G flat. It's just reminding you that although those notes look a little bit different and are named differently, they actually sound the same. They're the same pitch. Okay, so we are going to start with the lower notes from the scale here. So we're going to start with the low E and go up to B flat and then come back down. I'll show you the fingering for each note and play and hold each note. You can play along and make sure you're getting the right pitches. And then at the end of this little demonstration, then I'll play the whole thing in time. So we're going to start on our low E, and remember from part 1 that there are 2 ways to play this, but for right now I'm just going to use the typical fingering. So we're going to use our left hand pinky here, and then I'll show you why it's so important to alternate pinkies as we go. Okay, so if we start on low E and then go to low F next, we want to then use this fingering for low F. So we go low E to F sharp with the left pinky key to G. If we tried to do this without alternating, we'd have to end up doing this kind of thing or this kind of thing between notes. But if we do it this way, we can just go E, F, F sharp, and it's nice and steady between fingers. Okay. Another point is for E to F, you actually can have your F finger right on there, and then when you're playing E, so you go E, and all you have to do to get to F is lift off the E key. E, F. Okay, so it's really simple. Okay, I'm going to show you now playing and holding each note. Another important point is when you see the G sharp or A flat, the low G sharp or A flat, we know we can only play that with this pinky key. There's no other key that allows you to play it, so you have to use that right key, okay, in order for that to work. Top, right, inside pinky key. I'll play the low stuff all in time now. Okay, so we are going to move on to the upper notes, the stem up notes now. Before we do that, I just want to make two quick points. One is when you get to B, so looking at the stem up notes, when you get to high B and going up from there, the fingerings are exactly the same as what we just did in the low register, except we're going to add the register key. So we're assuming that you have a little bit of experience already playing with the register key and can play these kinds of notes. It's exactly the same fingering pattern, but just adding the register key starting with the B. Okay. The second point is about the alternate F sharp or G flat. And that's the note that you see that has an asterisk above it. And the reason that we have the alternate F sharp is when we're moving from F to F sharp or vice versa. And I mean this F, okay? Not the low F, but this F here. So when we're moving from this F, first space F to F sharp, we could go F to F sharp, right? But that's cumbersome and you can't slur that very well, right? Because you would hear your G in between, okay? Or if you're moving from F sharp to F, same idea. But the alternate F sharp or G flat allows us to do that smoothly. So the alternate fingering is on the diagram there, and it's the regular F thumb plus these two pinky keys here, or not pinky, these two first finger keys here. There's 4 keys. The bottom 2 are a little bit bigger, and you want to play those at the same time, both of them, with the side of your finger here. Okay, so you don't want to push them with the tip of your finger. You want to push them with the kind of where your second knuckle is. Push in there like that. Okay, so the alternate fingering is the regular F thumb plus those 2 pushed in. Okay, so I'll play. This is the F sharp this way, and the alternate. Okay, so it's a little bit of a different fingering, but we use that when we're moving from F to F sharp or from F sharp to F to make it more smooth. So I'm going to use that here. Okay, I'll hold all of the notes going up the scale. I'll hold them one at a time. And then going back down would be the same, just in reverse order. Just for time's sake, I'm going to leave that for now, and I'm just going to play the whole scale in time. Just like the low G sharp or A flat, the same thing applies to the high D sharp or E flat. Okay, that's this one, this top inside pinky key with the right hand. That's the only way to play the high D sharp or E flat, just the same way as with the low G sharp or A flat. So you know you have to play it that one way. Alright folks, that was Clarinet Pinky Keys Part 2. Hope it was helpful for you and that you learned something. Some key points, pun intended, I know, terrible. You want to be careful of that low A flat or G sharp, or same fingering as high D sharp or E flat. It can only be played the one way with your right hand top inside pinky. You want to also remember to alternate rights and lefts, never doing 2 notes in a row that are both with right hand keys or 2 notes in a row that are with left hand keys, so you want to alternate them. And using the typical fingerings can help you with that. And you want to be careful of using the alternate F sharp or G flat when you're doing a chromatic movement from F to F sharp or from F sharp to F to keep things smooth. As always folks, please feel free to contact me with any questions you have or any ideas for future videos. I always love to hear from you on that. And I hope you have a great day everybody, and we will talk to you soon.